Sponsored by Black Magic Design, the world's highest quality products for the feature film, post and broadcast industries. blackmagicdesign.com.
It's interesting because this next film has Bill Murray in it, and I will say that I did not know anything about it when I just knew it was called The Friend, and Bill Murray was in it, and so was Naomi Watts, and I said, "Oh, this will probably be delightful." Well, um, uh, you see the first scene is sort of like you see the scene of Bill Murray, and it's very sort of Woody Allen-esque. It's a bunch of New Yorkers sitting around a table and talking. And then it's like smash cut to Bill Murray's funeral. He is a professor and an author, and he's a real character. I mean, you do see him in flashbacks, but he's dead 5 minutes into the movie or less. And he's this professor, author character with two ex-wives, a daughter, and several literary works. He's very well respected in the literary community. But, people have different feelings about him, and he has committed suicide. So it's an unexpected death. And Naomi Watts plays his best friend, and I think his ex-lover. And she's picking up the pieces. She has to kind of deal with this in her own way, which is hard enough to do. But then the interesting thing, and this is where it sounds like a comedy premise. So she inherits his Great Dane. So his current wife, which is like wife number 3, didn't want this dog called Apollo. And the dog is a Great Dane. It's the biggest dog. It's the size of a small horse. And she's like, well, I don't actually like dogs. And Bill Murray's character, Walter, said that you would take the dog should anything happen to him. And she's like, well, he never told me this. Also, I live in a studio apartment that's rent controlled that doesn't allow pets. So as a New Yorker, I really related to the film because I know what it's like to live in a small apartment. I have a bigger than studio apartment, and I could not fit this dog into my apartment. So just that alone. And you think it's going to be like this comedy premise of like, oh, it's a movie star and a dog, and it's like Turner and Hooch or something like that. But it's really not. It's really like the dog and Naomi Watts' character, they're both mourning the loss of Walter, and they're both sort of in the wake of this horrible sudden death. And Walter has a daughter who is friends with Naomi Watts, and they're having scenes together. They're supposed to be co-editing the book together, but all of Naomi Watts' work, she's also a teacher and a writer, is getting derailed because she's got to take care of this dog. And then she's got the building breathing down her neck because they want to evict her because she's trying to keep this dog in a place you're not supposed to have dogs, which is very, very strict, especially in rent-controlled apartments in New York. So she's trying to find solutions for that. Again, sounds like it could be a comedy premise about her, in this Three's Company-esque farce trying to hide the dog but none of that happens. It's very, very serious. And it's a beautiful movie, and it's sort of a meditation on grief. And, like not a laugh riot. There's some very good performances in the film. You get a little, like a side character like Ann Dowd, who plays a neighbor. Carla Gugino, I think, is Bill Murray's first ex-wife. Constance Wu plays a very quirky character, but it's Watts' movie. It's Watts and Bing, who plays the dog Apollo. And there's a lot of scenes between the two of them together, and they're really good. It's surprisingly good considering one of them couldn't have read the script, and the dog is excellent in the film. Got a great expressive face, but it's really one of those films that it's a real New York story. It's very relatable, especially if you live here, and it's this woman going through this existential crisis. My one criticism is it was kind of slowly paced. There's a lot of incidents that take place that I thought could have happened faster or in shorter form, and this movie probably could have been an hour and a half. Because it's like it's a very simple premise, but all the moments are really, really good in it. And Naomi Watts is terrific. I think we kind of forgot what a great actress she is. But again, it's not for everybody. If you want a laugh riot, nonstop action, if you want to watch, Beverly Hills Cop or something, this is you're not in the mood for this movie. But hopefully it'll get seen. Because it is well done. And it's just a lovely, lovely film.
This is the BTRP Media Network.